Alright, everybody. So, a little bit of background at the beginning of this video before I get into the more recent developments, okay? So, all the way back in 2019, early 2019, is when I started making lefty content. And one of the very first videos that I made in the sort of lefty sphere was a video where basically what I'd done is I interviewed some prominent female, content creators in the lefty sphere, prominent in my, relative view back then, and I asked them specifically what experiences they'd had in online gaming, whether it be like Overwatch, World of Warcraft, etc, etc, etc. I asked them a variety of questions, and I wanted to see what commonalities there were, and I did a whole video that's still up now about, women's experiences in online gaming and gaming culture. Which, you know, you can imagine my take was exactly what you would assume it was. It was about the shit that women deal with. And one of the first larger channel, I believe, to share my content, knowingly and intentionally, and it was that particular video, if I recall correctly, was a channel by the name of TheSerfsTV, headed by the person who is relevant in today's discussion, Lance. I don't know his last name. I don't really care to know his last name. I don't know if it's public, but, you know, Lance. We'll call him Lance. Anyway, Lance is Canadian, which inclines me to believe that he is misguided, but a nice guy. I have to sneak in the Canadian dunks. I'm sorry. It's Canada, okay? Hold on. What was the, Hold on. There was a clip recently that was the truest thing I've ever heard Vosh say, and it was in regards to Canada. This is literally the truest thing Vosh has ever said, and this is more or less my opinion on Canada, but I could go on for 20 more minutes.
Guys, I don't give a fuck how you degenerate Canadians pronounce it, okay? I'm America. Your legislators had to pass laws to force your media companies to produce local stuff because you were just watching our TV, reading our books, watching our movies. You have no independent culture. Everyone just thinks of you as politer Americans. Mexico has a distinct culture. You guys don't. You're still subject to the crown. Now it's a fucking king and he's a pedophile. You're not even a real country. 99% of your land is uninhabitable tundra. You get your asses beat by mooses. Alright. That's why I don't pronounce your shit correctly. Also, you have Quebec.
So, Lance mentioned my comment I made about me disliking him for being Canadian while you went over his debate with Tim Pool. That is absurd. Okay, anyway, so basically, background out of the way. Let's get to the more recent stuff. So basically, a while back, I did a debate with a popular right-wing, even far-right, public figure who is also from Canada named Lauren Southern. Now, a lot of people think that I could have done quite a bit better in that debate. I think I did pretty well in the first half about trans issues because she conceded several points to me, but in the second half, I feel like she just kind of, did a war of attrition that made her look better in the end than me. I think I could have done better, but, you know, you just kind of get better by practicing. It is what it is. However, after that happened, I think it was Lance was doing a charity stream, if I recall correctly, and somebody in his chat brought me up. I think, bringing up the idea of me coming into the charity stream as, a guest, because it was one of those charity streams where you bring in a bunch of people, other content creators, and you're like, hey, let's hang out for a little bit and talk, and you raise money and all that. And in response, he said, yeah, I don't really like Xanderhal, or something along those lines. And I ended up having that knowledge conveyed to me. I was like, why? Wait, what did I do? Why wouldn't he like me? I came to find out, and this is the most plausible understanding of why he decided he didn't like me anymore that I have. And I think it's got some merit, if I'm being honest, to a degree. I understand where he's coming from if this was his reason for saying that, and maybe having a bit of a bone to pick with me. Lance is Canadian. Lauren Southern is also Canadian. Lauren Southern, a lot of her political stuff had to do with America and, a lot of American political shit. But she also talked a lot about, Canadian politics, and a lot of Canadian lefties also hate her. So I think that Lance felt almost like a personal, drive to debate her and blow her the fuck out. And he felt that me getting to it first, and me doing not as well as he would have liked as well, I feel like that left a bad taste in his mouth and made him not like me. That's the only, good explanation that I have been given And that was the reasoning that I was given back then as well from people, as being the most plausible reason. However, I will say it's ironic that shortly after he debated Lauren Southern, and then did a lot worse than me. He did quite a few more debates after that and did a lot worse than me. And listen, I don't fault anyone for doing poorly in debates, okay? Debating is a skill that nobody just inherently has and is good at, like, by default. It's one that you hone, right? Like, when you think of the most popular debate bro content creators online, they didn't just, like, pop out of their mom's womb, like, being a debate lord. They have a upbringing or a background of arguing with people and talking and expressing their ideas and getting practice doing it that set them up for where they are. You can even see in my older content compared to now, I am way better at explaining what I believe and defending my points than I was back in the day. And that's because this takes practice. And I am not going to fault Lance for making mistakes or having, like, you know, less ideal results when he's doing something that you can literally only get better at by doing. I'm not going to give him shit for that. Like, at least I'm not going to give him shit for it in the sense that I'm going to morally condemn him, right? Like, I'd never say he is bad because of that, right? Here's the thing, though. Recently, 2 bits of drama, I would say. One of them isn't really drama, it's more so human rights violation, and then some drama coincided with each other. Okay? Basically, a content creator with over 1 million subs by the name of Illuminati ended up attacking another YouTuber by the name of Legal Eagle with claims that his editors were ripping off the style of her editors. Very stupid drama to even start or really care about at the end of the day, but it really escalated from there to extents that you would have never guessed. Basically, Blair, aka Illuminati, decides to respond to the fact that everybody was dunking on her for trying to, like, attack Legal Eagle over this. And in her response, she immediately, like 10%, maybe 15% of the way into the video, diverts the focus of the video from her attacking Legal Eagle to another bubbled up bit of drama that had come out of it. And that was her falling out that she had had with some former team members that she'd worked with on her YouTube channel. At least that's how she described it. That is until these former team members came forward with their stories and the receipts to back it up. In reality, Illuminati is a fucking psycho. I mean a fucking psycho. So for starters, she was a landlord who was literally acting as, like, basically created a company house where the transportation, food, and, like, other living expenses, housing, etc., 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 were all reliant on him both of them having that job. Were like subjecting them to horrible living conditions, which were all backed up with receipts. I mean, she was literally a lefty landlord. Literally, these people had to keep in good graces with her, or all of their ability to live would be taken away. They were working insane hours and having to meet insane demands while she is literally a business mogul who is a multi-millionaire at this point, who's, like, wringing every bit of cash she can out of these smaller content creators that she's employed. It is fucking wild, okay? It is insane how much got revealed, and the receipts are all there. I've done videos on it already. However, Lance, in response to that video going up, I guess he didn't expect there to be as much attention around this drama as there ended up being. For those that don't know, Illuminati and Lance from The Serfs are friends. They appear on podcasts together, and they're, like, actual legit friends. And I should also mention, Illuminati has a very well-documented history of manipulating and forcing her content creator friends into situations where they have to defend her. She'll blackmail them, she'll give ultimatums, she is a manipulator, she will force her content creator friends to defend her. I'm not saying it's why Lance is defending her, but it is something that she does, and it doesn't matter why Lance is defending her on this, he is. And he did that in the form of this video, which I think is pretty vile. Illuminati debunks the malicious claims from former Sad Milk team. Her receipts are insane. There were no receipts on her end, and the video ended up being, Well, as you can see by the lack of likes on the video, it's only got 400 likes. All the comments are negative. And it's from his fans. His fans were replying, dude, this is a big L, man. This is a big L. And so I decided, since I was covering the Illuminati stuff, and I'd seen that Lance, a prominent lefty figure who associates with her publicly and kind of acts as somebody who, admits her into the fold of lefty content creation sphere, and the fact that she also tries to put forward sort of a progressive veneer, I felt like that's worth calling out. She's literally a landlord who abuses her position as a landlord. She's actually more of a, lord, and made Wonder live like a serf. Which is ironic considering his name is their username is the Serfs, you know? I think it's ironic. Anyway, I ended up seeing yesterday, I'm fast forwarding too much. Anyway, I ended up making a video in response to people in chat who are asking me, Xan, why don't you like Lance? Because I'd mentioned a few times when he'd get brought up I really like his tweets, because I do like his tweets. His tweets are bangers. I really like his Twitter activity. It's just such a shame that he's kind of an asshole. And people were always like, Xan, why don't you like Lance? What happened? And I decided, you know what? I'm tired of people asking me this question. I'm going to make a video. I'm just going to make a statement called Why I Don't Like the Serfs. I start the video where I spend, a good portion of the video talking about this Illuminati stuff. Granted, this was before even a lot of the receipts about this had come out. And so Lance didn't look quite as bad back then when I made that video as he does now, having defended Illuminati, to be fair. However, I make my video, and I also go over a recent debate he had with Tim Pool. And I went over a thread that Heem had posted on Twitter. It was Heem's reaction to the debate. And because I didn't want to play the full, fucking debate for, hours on end on stream, because we needed to wrap up, I decided to play through a thread that was done, a live tweeted thread with clips of the debate with highlights of it. Most of those highlight points did not make Lance look particularly good. He didn't do the best job arguing for himself there. Towards the end, though, he actually did pull it back around and did actually manage to make some good arguments. And I actually rooted for that. I was like, come on, Lance, let's see you pull out a W. And then he did. And I was like, yeah, okay, we closed it off with Lance actually getting a W from this conversation. Anyway, I end up covering all of that and talking about it in my video, and a lot of people, even in my own audience, got mad at me, saying that I was just being petty and doing leftist infighting out of nowhere for no reason. And I was like, but I made the video in response to people asking me a question. This isn't me trying to do a hit piece on Lance, really. I guess I am calling out the abuse apologia, to be fair, but this isn't meant to be a hit piece on Lance. It's called Why I Don't Like the Serfs, and it opens with me answering an audience member's question. I think that's I think I framed it well enough to make it clear it wasn't meant to be a attack on Lance's career. That said, though, Lance decided to respond. Now, yesterday I saw this. Someone sent me this, that he was live streaming and that he was doing a segment called Why I Don't Like Xanderhal. And apparently, that video, Why I Don't Like Xanderhal, has now come out. And of course, the comments for the most part are pretty much defending him. There are some people that are getting mad at him for doing drama. There are some people that are I'm not a big fan of Xan anymore, like this person. I used to be a big fan of Xan. He was actually my introduction to lefty YouTube, but he made the business decision to lean more into the drama sphere. Some people love the drama shit, but I think it's dumb. I don't dislike Xan or anything, but it's just not my cup of tea, and I think the drama should be beneath us. So, from everything I've heard about this video, Lance pretty much disregards and ignores my criticism about his defense of Illuminati. He pretty much just slides that right aside and ignores it, for all intents and purposes. Yeah, and on top of that, you'll notice that they're trying to pretend the abuse that was suffered by Wonder and the clique by Illuminati, someone who is literally their landlord, who's like a multi-millionaire YouTuber who's massive, over 1 million subs, like very successful. She's hemorrhaging subs and growth now, obviously, but like they think calling out, like, I'm sorry, maybe we need to like rewatch the clip of Wonder's video, but like one of the things that happened as well was Illuminati threw away all of Wonder's like belongings, including his silver play button from YouTube. Just threw it away. So there's currently a fundraiser being run by Wonder's friends to raise money to get him a new silver play button because maliciously Illuminati threw it out and destroyed it. Just stuff like that. The most cruel, horrible shit. Listen, people want me to watch this video, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Lance coping for a while. I feel like I've given my position as well as I can, but let's watch the video. Let's see if he actually attempts to make an honest argument. Apparently, the reason he gave for why he didn't like me is he claimed that I dead-named Blair White. Oh yeah, that is true. I forgot about that. He did claim that I dead-named Blair White. I forgot about that. That was in a tweet, wasn't it?
Nope. I never said that. You can go back and roll the clips. What I said is that you looked up Blair White's dead name while streaming off-screen. That's what I said. That was my...
Do you want to know what he actually... Okay, what he actually said was, Xanderhal was looking up Blair White's dead name on stream, is what he said, which is implying heavily that I was showing chat her dead name. What actually happened was I was covering a mega turf who was referring to Blair by a name that I now know is just a term for all trans people. I think it was Tim is the term. Trans-identified male is the term. Kept calling her Tim over and over again. I was like, why is this lady calling her Tim? What is this like her dead name or something? How, is that public? What's going on? And I was like, what? And I literally opened up a tab like to Google and check if that was the case. And I said, I probably shouldn't Google that. And then I didn't. I didn't even have it open on stream. So the Serfs said I literally that I looked up Blair White's dead name on stream to imply that I brought it up on stream to show off her dead name, when in reality, I was responding to, wait a second, why is Blair White being called this name? Is that like a thing? So yeah, no. Essentially what he was saying was, Xan was saying her dead name, or showing off her dead name. The point was to indicate that I was doing something transphobic that I did not do. He lied, or at the very least was misled. Alright, I'm glad we're starting off well.
Accusation, yes.
And that just didn't happen. So, like, true. I guess a made-up thing that he heard on Twitter about me? That he believed? I suppose? But yeah.
Okay, so made-up thing that I heard on Twitter that I believe. Alright, well, here's me learning about it on Twitter from you. Xanderhal. The thing I was responding to kept referring to Blair by a masculine name that wasn't hers, so I was like, are they dead naming Blair White? And I looked it up off-screen to find out what was occurring.
And I didn't even look it up. And what the Serfs actually said was, Xan showed Blair White's name on stream, or looked up Blair's dead name on stream, implying that I showed it. Also, how is that worth criticizing me for? That's like the most, biggest reach for a criticism ever. So this is the reason that he dislikes me? Is that I got confused at some random turf referring to Blair White by a weird name that literally ended up being... Like, I googled Blair White Tim was what I googled, and I didn't even actually type it in. I typed it into the Google bar, and I said, I probably shouldn't Google that. And if I'd Googled it, what probably would have came up was the, definition of the word Tim as a derogative term for trans people. So I didn't even actually... Oh, God, he's so stupid. Oh, no. Oh, no, he's so stupid. So I was right. He just based his dislike of me on some shit he heard on Twitter. People keep extrapolating from this that you were wanting to dead name Blair White, and that is what Lance is implying. Well, that was the point, right? Like, that's the only actual thing that anybody who read that would get from it, right? If Lance says Xan, Googled Blair White's dead name on stream, what are you going to assume happened if you don't know what actually happened, which I just described? He's lying, at the very least by omission, but certainly by implication. Lance strikes me as a performatively nice person. Dude, I hate that we have to deal with, like, another person who's attempting to, like, slander me, but they're doing it in such a way that people actually fall for, like, the fake nice act. Kind of like when Noah Samson did it. At the end of the day, I honestly don't care all that much about Lance dunking on me. Oh, he calls me Xanderhal here. One thing I will say is I find it funny that people that dislike me use this term to describe me, because the term Xanderhal actually originates from the lolicons, like the pedophile community on Twitter. The lolicons I would dunk on, who would make videos, and they'd call them like Slanderhal videos, where they would because they literally would joke about how they're slandering me, and they would accuse me of stuff they actively would admit isn't true, like on Twitter, but in their videos they'd say it's true, so they call them Slanderhal videos. Shoeonhead actually did the same thing. I feel like, at this point, if somebody unironically uses the term Slanderhal in their video on me, we got him. There's no more need to continue. Important info, for some reason he spends a large part of this video upset that you said he's friends with Bad Bunny on stream, which I don't even think was in our video about him. Apparently he's not friends with Bad Bunny anymore. That's what I was told. I don't know how much time I spent talking about Bad Bunny in that video, but yeah, he was friends with Bad Bunny for quite a while, but apparently she blocked him and they had a falling out in private. But they were all this stuff was public for a long time and they were still friends, so I don't really think it applies much if they had a private falling out over something different. But yeah, what I'm actually more concerned about here, less so than him, like, reeing over me, like, not liking him, is the fact that I called him out. And the most important thing that I called him out for, this is the thing that I wanted him to respond to or acknowledge, was his defense of Illuminati. He doesn't really respond to it, apparently, according to everybody that's been telling me about this video. But what he did do, according to people on Twitter, is take down the video right before he put out that stream. Which doesn't surprise me, considering how, like, poor the reception was on it. This video is no longer up on the channel anymore, at least according to people commenting on my Twitter. He took it down the morning of his live stream recording of what we're watching now. That's definitely a good thing, but he didn't upload, like, an apology video to the people that were abused, that he did the abuse apologia for and called malicious. He didn't make an outward statement or apologize for it, because it's clear that he doesn't actually care that he attacked abuse victims and defended an abuser who's his friend. He wanted to save face. He didn't want me to be able to bring up this video and play it on stream. Now the video is gone. I can't play the clips of Lance defending her and talking about how great she is and how much she's owning these allegations, because he took the video down. But I got the thumbnail, and I got the title. And he can't get rid of that. Try responding to the actual issue, Lance. I know you'd want to turn this into petty streamer drama, because I did a little bit of my video just kind of having fun watching a recent debate you did, but that wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video is that you engaged in abuse apologia for your good content creator friend who is very large and very influential online, but is currently hemorrhaging subs because she has so unanimously been exposed as an abuser. You should probably reconsider all that. And if you have, then consider making it public that you have.